It's been quite a busy week for the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, so let's get you caught up. On this edition of the SKNIS Week in Review, hundreds of citizens and residents engage in a splendid showcase of volunteerism. The Mental Health Day Treatment Center is renamed. A bill on term limits for the post of Prime Minister is introduced in the federal parliament, and stakeholders design new strategies on drug abuse prevention. Those stories and more are next on the SKNIS Week in Review for the period February 16 to 22, 2018. Hello and welcome, I am Ian Richards. Volunteerism was at the fore this past week with the launch of the Department of Youth Empowerment's National Volunteer Corps. Some 200 persons made up primarily of students from the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, Advanced Vocational Education Center, and the Nevis Sixth Form College, enrolled in the SAFE program, were given an orientation and training before being inducted into the Corps on Friday. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth, Stanley Knight, said that many persons underestimate the value of volunteerism has on the volunteer, the beneficiary, the community, and the country as a whole.
Volunteerism is the basis on which every modern society is based, and I want you to understand that. Persons think that it's economics, some persons think that it's politics, some persons think that it is sports, it's excellence, but let me tell you this. You getting up out of your bed and helping your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors, your friends, your community, that is what makes a modern community successful. Therefore, what you are doing right now is you are reaching out and taking hold of your own future and shaping it.
Now it was a short turnaround time for some of the students as they were thrown directly into the thick of things for the inaugural National Volunteer Day that was observed on Sunday. Hundreds of nationals working on their own accord or with friends, a group, club or agency performed acts of kindness in the spirit of giving back. These included beach and community cleanups, tree planting exercises, free vehicle servicing, painting projects, and food donations. One of the more notable projects was a National Volunteer Day luncheon hosted by Governor General His Excellency Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton. The event was organized for senior citizens and held at Government House. It was a sight to behold as members of the Volunteer Corps and cabinet ministers were busy greeting and serving the retired nation builders. The cabinet team was led by Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris and the featured Deputy Prime Minister Honorable Sean Richards, Ministers Honorable Eugene Hamilton and Wendy Phipps, and Senator Honorable Akila Byron also lent a helping hand. Prime Minister Harris spoke about the importance of having a National Volunteer Day, which will be observed annually. Government House was also the venue for an auspicious investiture ceremony on Monday, where 8 national honors awardees were recognized for their stellar contribution to different sectors of society. The Companion of Star of Merit went to Jacques Kramer for his contribution to commerce and public service, Agnes Morton for her contribution to education and volunteer service, Arthur Evelyn for his contribution to public service and community activism, Calvin Farrier for his contribution to education and public service, and Melvin James for his contribution to culture and local, regional, and international credit union. The Medal of Honor was awarded to Alvis Dyer for her contribution to education and community service, Samuel Powell for his contribution to agriculture and music, and Elmo Liebert for his contribution to education and public service. Congratulations to all of them. Also recognized this week for outstanding service to St. Kitts and Nevis was the late Dr. Arthur W. Lake, a pioneer in the field of mental health. The Mental Health Day Treatment Center in Lime Keel now bears the name of Dr. Lake following a renaming ceremony on Tuesday. The center operates from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It offers a range of therapeutic activities to patients using agriculture, where they tend a garden at the back of the facility, recreation, sports and games, cinema, screening of videos and films about mental health wellness, music appreciation, and occupational therapy, where patients engage in art and craft. Patients can also access services on meditation, substance abuse counseling, nutrition and hygiene, medication management, and more. Minister of State responsible for health, the Honorable Wendy Phipps, outlined the future plans for the facility.
The second phase of this project, which will come down the road, is in terms of an assisted living type of environment, or a halfway house for want of a better term, where persons who are recovering from mental illness and who are well enough to hold down a job but not lucky enough to be on their own in terms of paying rent, owning a home, or having your family members accept you to live there, would be able to have a place where they can stay, run by a warden appointed by the Ministry of Social Services, and then they would have an opportunity in that kind of communal setting to have continued therapy and improvement.
A special sitting of the National Assembly was held on Wednesday to mark 3 years in office by the current government of national unity. The only bill introduced in the House at this time was the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis Tenure of Office of Prime Minister Amendment Bill 2018. The landmark bill seeks to make an amendment of Section 52(2) of the Constitution. With the amendment, quote, "A representative shall not hold office as Prime Minister for more than 2 terms, whether or not served consecutively," end quote. Another anniversary activity included a town hall meeting in Newtown on Tuesday, highlighted by the announcement of Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd, that a public signing ceremony for the second cruise pair is expected later this month. A special meeting of the Federal Cabinet in Nevis on Monday, and an extraordinary visit by government MPs to various sites within their respective constituencies on Thursday was also part of the commemoration. In related news, the Ministry of Tourism has been buzzing with good news for the 2017-2018 tourism season. Minister of Tourism, Honorable Lindsay Grant, shared recent accolades during Wednesday's sitting of the Federal Parliament.
Since the beginning of the year, we've been named among the 22 hotspots for where to go in 2018. In the world, by Bloomberg. Not by us, not by any publication aligned to this government, but by Bloomberg, a well-recognized business publication. And in fact, it is the only Caribbean country to appear on that list, that Bloomberg list. We have also been declared one of the top 21 places to travel in 2018 by the Robb Report.
And finally, delegates from several CARIFORUM member states, the Organization of American States, or OAS, and the European Union, or EU, came to St. Kitts to brainstorm and formulate strategies on drug abuse and its prevention that will be implemented in countries across the Caribbean region. The discussions took place at the CARICOM Regional Drug Demand Reduction Strategy Workshop that was held on Monday and Tuesday. This was followed by Wednesday's OAS Regional National Drug Strategy Workshop, which ended on Thursday. Vice Chairman of the National Drug Council in St. Kitts and Nevis, Dennis Michael Morton, saluted the regional directors and the decision makers for their commitment in the fight against drugs, which contributes to the overall safety, security, and well-being of the respective people and nations.
As leaders and decision makers within our respective territories, we have to ensure that we are doing all we can to ensure the right plans, strategies, activities, and resources are in place to give our citizens what they rightfully deserve. Our citizens deserve a society that is not controlled by drug use, abuse, trafficking, violence, and crime, but rather, we all deserve a society with appropriate tools and methods in place to control the misuse and abuse of drugs.
That's all for this edition of the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service Weekend Review. I'm Ian Richards. Have a good one.